Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. We're back on Jeff's 710 automatic. I think that I have everything here that is needed to get all the problems solved. Let's find out. This saw was an abysmal mess on the inside. I don't think I'm exaggerating one iota if I say that I pulled over a pound of grease out of the fan housing and the engine here. Okay, seriously? I know sometimes I do silly stuff, but where the hell did that black sprung socket go? Usually I end up finding it right in front of me, but what in the hell? Oh, right there. Close enough to right in front of me. Can't get to it. That wasn't tight at all. This isn't the best design ever. I was never a big fan of McCulloch's placement of the screws that hold this handle in place, but hey, is what it is. One thing you want to be careful of is don't lose that insert that actually has the threads. That's all it is. Although aluminum handle, which is fine, but rather than putting a full block in there like Homelight did, they do this steel insert. Whatever. Potato, potato, I suppose. Okay, handle's out of the way. I think we're going to attempt to tackle this fuel tank first. And to do that, I do want to get the carburetor out of the way. And if you remember on the test run, it did run. And it actually ran fairly well until you tilted it on its side. And then things got a little hairy scary. Didn't seem so good. So, let's go ahead and get this fuel hose out of the way. It's not going to go nearly as easily as I want it to, naturally. What are you up to, Kit Kat? I hear you. Oh. Okay, thank you. Bubbles outside, Bub. I don't want him in the shop. Nice try. Alright, that's out of the way. Our block is going to stay in place. We don't need to pull that unless something happens that I don't know about. I like the 710 in the sense that it doesn't have an intake boot, so that eliminates some of the hard work under there, but it's got this clamshell style frickin' fuel tank that always leaks. And that's what we're going to deal with today, is the always leaks part. And these screws can actually be a real pain in the tuchus. And somebody's been in here before, and it didn't work, because it's leaking again. Now, I am realizing that I did not get the right thing from Little Red Barn, or excuse me, Sawzilla. And it's not because they sent me the wrong thing, it's because I ordered the wrong thing. Oh man, that's tight. I may not be able to go a whole lot further with this. I ordered the gasket for the 1010 style that doesn't include the airbox. Ugh. See that varnish buildup on there? It's a mix of fuel tank material that's corroded and varnished fuel. Pretty nasty. Alright, now this should lift off now. And look at that, it did. No, I'm okay. Okay, okay. Alright, so that just needs to be glued in with a new duckbill valve, but it needs to be cleaned up. Okay, so remember I said fuel tank material. Hey kitty cat, I'm trying to make a video. Yeah, I know, those are cool. Don't lose your tank spacer, that's important so you don't crack it when you tighten it down. But this is corrosion from bad fuel. And I guarantee you it was ethanol containing fuel. This is why you don't want to let it sit for too long, because it will corrode and eat your magnesium, aluminum, alloy parts. It's not good. So, this needs to be cleaned out a little bit. And I'm going to do that off camera because I need to be able to use my air hose and check everything. But when we come back, we'll try replacing this. We'll replace this fuel hose while it's apart. And we'll go from there. Okay. That's a little better. This tank... Oh good, that'll work. This tank has seen better days, but it's not at the point of, oh crap yet. The pitting there is less than 1/8 of an inch deep. So we caught it in time, basically. You could make an argument that, hey, we probably ought to red coat this. I'm kind of on the fence. At this point, there's no danger of leakage, and I'd almost rather know. I'd rather leave it this light color so that I can actually see in there and see if any further damage is happening. What I know is if a person uses clear fuel, and by clear I mean non-ethanol, and you don't let it go bad, it'll last forever. But I know not everybody has access to non-ethanol fuel. So then it becomes don't store it for too long, don't, let it sit there and draw moisture, yada yada. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, this old cork gasket. You can buy reproduction cork, you can do what I did, and these I think are from Little Red Barn. I lost track of where I ordered everything from. Does it matter? Yeah, Little Red Barn. And this is a Viton rubber, and I may be mispronouncing that name, but I think you get the idea. It's a rubber that is intended to be used with fuel. I am going to operate under the assumption it's going to compress less easily and less prone to shrinkage. Because in the end, that's what causes this to leak. You can see the cork is dented out of shape enough, it's shrunk. So, that in place, and drop that back down, and you can see it's actually sitting up. So when we compress that, it's going to go pretty well. Should be pretty nice. But let's make life easy on ourselves and go ahead and do the fuel hose while we have the lid off. Remember what I said? Not in the garage? Thank you. Last thing I need is soap all over the floor and trip and fall. You don't want to see me do the splits. Yeah, exactly. Alright. This can be a lot easier. Having the lid on. Oh, too easy. There we go. Looks like that'll have enough bend to it to not kink. I don't see anywhere that gasket slipped out of place. So now comes the fun part.
Ooh, what's the fun part?
Well, by fun, I mean sarcastic, young Caitlin. It's holding this tube in place where you get the screw started. And you gotta get it. Oh, shoot. I didn't get it. I get it to go on the nub and start the threads. And if you look real hard, you can see it down there in the tank. And you can see it as it's slipping off, going where you don't want it. You know, it happens.
Ooh, this is interesting.
I'm glad you think so. Alright, I did not tighten that all the way. I want to do this back and kind of cinch it down evenly. I don't want to pull anything out of shape. I am not replacing the back seals. They are still going to be adequate for sealing the air box. And that's really all you need to do is keep the grease or sawdust out of the air box so you don't end up with a bunch of grease and contamination in your engine. Okay. That's tightening down nice and good. Okay. I like the looks of that. That gives that rubber a little room to shrink and still make a seal. Okay. Suppose I probably could have put a fuel filter on that while I had it apart. But that's okay. Not that hard to do after the fact.
Ooh, I want to touch something. I have gloves on.
Okay. We might have a future saw mechanic over here, you never know. Alright.
What does this do?
That's a switch, on and off.
Ooh.
So, let's move to... Where did I put all those parts? Oh, you dummy. What did I do? No. There it is, right there. That crank seal was in... And that should be the other one, I think. And we're going to start on this side. So this saw has a chip for ignition. Points have been removed. And since it was a hot spark, I can see no reason why I shouldn't just roll with it. Again, we know we had a leaking crankshaft seal.
I wonder what this does. It goes up and down.
What?
This.
That's the hose that takes gas from the engine and puts it in, or takes it to the carburetor.
Yeah, but I know there's something that covers it.
Yeah, the carburetor. So this seal is a little bit of a pain in the neck.
Oh no! Ooh.
There she goes. These bigger outer diameters. Don't get your face too close. I don't want to hit you with the screwdriver. These bigger outer diameter seals are kind of a pain.
Ooh, jeez. Ooh, are you trying to take that off?
Yeah, I replace it.
Ooh, can I try pulling it out?
No, not on this.
I'll hold
There
it.
it goes. There it goes. Okay.
Ooh,
So even though I've got it torn up from doing that, you can see there's debris in there where that seal was deteriorating.
I'll hold it for you.
That can go in the garbage can.
Okay. Here.
And you can see,
This one?
yes, a little bit of gobbledygook came out of there. So not what you want down in your engine.
Ooh,
So it
now
was
you're
leaking.
cleaning.
That's right.
You need to clean it.
Okay.
It looks much cleaner.
Yeah, it's because it is.
I'll fix this. Ooh, this is interesting. Ooh. Ooh, I think this is where you put the gas in.
Nope, that's the oil.
Oh, oil.
That keeps your chain on the bar oiled.
Ooh, oil.
Okay. This is a nice double lip seal. So it ought to make...
Oil in it so that it keeps on running. Is that right?
Well, it's so that the bar, or the chain will turn around the bar and not get hot and bind up.
Ooh, that's cool. Here, I'll hold this.
Actually, why don't you move that hand so that I can see what I'm doing? 'Cause I have to go around in a circle and slowly push this in so it doesn't distort.
I'll hold this down.
Okay. We're there.
Okay, let's see. Yep, it's stable.
Yeah, a lot tighter than the old one was.
This, I think you need to clean it.
Okay.
I need to pull up my gloves.
They were made for me, or size hands I have, kitty cat, not your size. That's why you gotta pull them up. These are about half a size, or half a hand too big.
I'm just gonna.
There she goes. Alright. Okay. Now even this one had a little bit of leakage.
Ooh, no, that's not good.
So get that out of there.
That's a top from a Q-tip.
It is tough, Q-tip.
Ooh, yeah, I see it.
Well, that was a little piece of silicone. Okay. What are you doing?
So Mom wanted me to ask you if you wanted to take this to Google.
No, that's garbage.
Okay, now where do you want me to take this?
Out by the garbage can?
Ooh, this was kind of escape.
Okay, got a crank seal.
Ooh, these cool. Ooh, the rings.
You're right, they are rings.
Not the ones that go on your fingers.
No, not that kind of ring. And that tool's not going to work. Oh-de-do-de-do. Not that one.
Look, I took out.
Yeah, some junk. I think this homeland setting tool will... Nope, that's not going to clear that shaft either.
I'm going to try to get that
What about
junk.
this other side? Nope, that's the same size. Alright, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Now, watch out. Watch your fingers. Yeah, see, this is difficult with this style.
Ooh, difficult. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Damn. Swear if you kept enough pieces of pipe around to do everyone, you'd have nothing but a shop full of pipe.
Something. I just figured out something cool.
Now, let's What's that?
So like when you put this into this, when you shake it, it doesn't go up. When you throw it, sometimes it goes out.
Okay. Alright.
Like,
There we go. It's in there nice and square. This engine should be airtight now.
no, really.
Okay, Kit Kat. Less distractions, please. Alright. Now we had this apart. It needed a new sprocket. We need to pack this clutch bearing, but I'm going to clean it out with a little bit of WD-40 first.
Ooh, these.
Seriously, can you please quit bouncing around? Nope, not on that saw. This belongs to somebody else. So we're not going to do random stuff to it.
I'm trying to clean it out.
No, the garbage right there. Okay. Well, you can put that sawdust right in the garbage can instead of on the paper. Okay. Now, there's even a piece of eaten rope that's up in here. Twine. It almost looks like hay baling twine. Alright, we'll stick with a... How are all my sprockets? There we go. 3/8, 7. Oh! Man, I tell you, I'm getting tired of these oddball sprocket sizes. This apparently uses a small spline. Damn it. I have a 325 small, but not a 3/8 small spline. Great. I guess I'll have to order it. We'll put it together anyway for test run purposes.
I like when it's clean.
Sorry, it's as clean as it's going to get. Now that I don't like. Oh, I forgot one of the things we need to do, folks. We had that broken clutch spring. And I know that came in. There we go. Packaged up so that even a bomb couldn't open it. I guess that's a good thing. The only thing that hasn't come in yet is that little plate that it wraps around. So I'll just have to take this back apart. Man, this thing flew apart. That's interesting. Real interesting on this clutch. Damn. This is going to be a pain in the butt. This thing actually looks like it's flown apart and is jammed. Well, alright, watch your finger, babe. I'm going to leave it alone the way it is for now. I'll wait until that other... Babe, please. That's cleaning up. We're not trying to make it so that we can eat off of it. Just so that it's clean enough that that it runs good. Alright. Air hose this carburetor off. Okay, back up. See if we can get this thing to curly Q in a way that works. That's my one gripe with some of these aftermarket hoses, is they are a real pain to get not to kink. It looks like this one may not be any different. So if I do a spiral like that, that looks a little better. So I can get it to actually go on. Alright, that didn't kink. It actually doesn't look terrible in there. So let's see if we can get this. Drop right in. I think. Well, it felt like it did. Yes, damn this thing. These are not the most fun to get aligned. That might have gone. There it goes. Okay, I know that one started.
Don't throw these away. I'm gonna put them back on.
Okay. Alright, throttle works. Get this choke hook back up. I'm not going to, anytime Caitlin is interested in seeing what's going on out here, you can rest assured I'm not going to stop her. Too many kids have absolutely zero interest in anything of any usefulness, and I can tell you as if mine is him, wanting to see what's going on, she can see what's going on. Even if that means I have to say don't scrape the paint. I'll just say it. Okay. That should be clean enough. Flywheel key is in place. Once we've had this apart, and it wasn't a pain, I'm going to make sure it's not a pain later on down the road and get a little WD on here. Okay. These starter housing screws, again, if you've worked on a McCulloch, you know you can drop them and they'll drop all the way down, so you got to actually find the hole and not do what I just did there. Feel around until you find it and help it get started. And I like to start all 5 or 6 if you're working on one of the big saws that has one up there. Start them all before you tighten any one down, and your life will be easier.
What's this for?
Test wire.
Oh. This one I think is damaged because this side is bent.
I bent them on purpose so they would fit better where I was working. Okay. See how this camera does. I learned something new and found a higher resolution setting on it. But of course that takes up more memory, so I'm going to have to upgrade this memory card. Emptied it before coming out, but I've recorded the transformer testing on the 360, and now I'm, however long deep into this one, so hopefully it doesn't end unceremoniously. Alright. Okay. Blow this out. Because that fitting has already fallen out once. Oh, that's right. My bottle of super glue is dried up. I'll have to get another one. So what I'm going to do, help this thing stay seated, is I'm going to rough it up around the edges a little bit with this and actually oblong that shape just a little bit. There we go. That'll give it something new to grip on, and I'm just going to use a standard longer duckbill valve. It has a little spout that it fits on right there. Put that in the cap. Popped into place. That should be adequate for testing.
Ooh. What's this?
That's part of the carburetor. It's a deflector plate. Keep junk out of it. Okay. I'm happy enough with that. Let's put a little fuel in this and see if she runs better than she did before. Yeah, if you could get the chair out of my leg, that'd be good. Alright, that's enough fuel.
It smells bad.
Yeah, it should smell like gas. Okay. First thing we can do is tip it back, and that's water, to be clear. There's no gas coming out up here. So that means that repair was successful. Alright.
So, there's no leaks.
So watch your ears, Kit Kat. I don't know where you put your earmuffs. I think they're out here. You gotta put your hands over your ears.
I'll just go inside and look.
Alright. Okay, let's see if this thing will go. Guess it would help if I choked it. Now that sounded promising. Well, that's interesting. Let's reset this carburetor. Good job. Alright, let's see if that does a little better. That was running pretty rich. Come on, baby. tell what's going on here. Okay, until I can get that clutch fixed, until I put a little more fuel in it so that when I lay it from side to side, it doesn't try and die, because like this, it was losing its fuel pickup. I'm gonna say we've got it. And I'm remembering I've got to get this idle speed screw unstuck. It is, head's all wallered out in there, and it's definitely not holding it at the right idle speed right now, but whatever. We've got some good progress. Both crank seals replaced. This fuel tank's not leaking. Jeff, this saw will be a good runner. This has not very many hours on it. Once I got it all cleaned up, and it still could take more cleanup, but I'll let you handle that. No point in paying me to do it when it's just cosmetic. This thing doesn't have much time on it. The inside looks clean. At some point it lost spark and it got that electronic module, but that's okay. I mean, you can tell it runs good. So yeah, I'm going to finish these few little details and we'll do one final test run and it'll be ready to head back your way.